We've scoured the galaxy far and wide in order to put together this helpful list of the 8 best side quests that we've found in Starfield so far. Note that while much of Starfield is randomly generated, what we'll point you towards here is not. You should be able to start these quests by simply going to the right place. The missions we've selected either reward you with something great or involve interesting characters and storylines that you might miss if you don't know where to look. We'll tell you how to start each quest, as well as what makes them so noteworthy, but we'll try to keep spoilers to a minimum so that you can enjoy the surprises that they have in store for you when you play them for yourself. Let's start with the side missions that give you some great loot. The Manta side quest is one you're likely to find early on in your travels. The quest begins by looting the secret outpost note from any random spacer who happens to be carrying it. Check your inventory to see if you have it already, and read it to get the next step. You'll be directed to go to Denibola 1B in the Denibola system, where spacers are trying to crack into the lair of the Mantis, a vigilante who hasn't been seen in some time. Completing this quest is a really good way to get a legendary spacesuit and starship, but just be aware that you'll need to fight a number of level 25 enemies to get these rewards. The legendary ship you get, the Razorleaf, is powerful and comes complete with shielded cargo, which provides you with a way to smuggle contraband into secured cities and planets without being arrested. If you want any help for this quest, we already have a separate guide video that can help you solve the puzzles and combat scenarios that you'll find throughout the lair.
You're human.
First Contact has an excellent story. You can start this quest by flying into orbit above Porrima 2 in the Porrima system. As you arrive, you'll be contacted by the security chief of the nearby resort, who wants to discuss the large unidentified ship floating in orbit.
But we are in need of assistance concerning the large ship in orbit, and we value discretion in this matter.
If you hail the ship, it seems their communication system is busted. Whether you talk to the security chief or not, you can then board the vessel and you'll find a group of humans with a surprisingly interesting backstory. What follows is a fascinating exploration of what different groups of people will do for a community in need depending on their vested interests.
Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work.
You're also given plenty of agency to decide the outcome of the situation. Do you want to be helpful or less than helpful? You can earn valuable old world artifacts, plus a silenced old world pistol for helping the colony ship, or an unlimited Hotel Paradiso resort pass for helping the resort.
Well, there are some limits, of course, but you know how it is. Lawyers, am I right?
The choice is yours. Next up are a few missions that are less about the loot and more about the experience. Now, what good is a sci-fi setting if you don't start thinking about the ethics of sentient AI? Junos Gambit is one of the hardest quests to start, if only because it occurs randomly throughout the game. Reports online indicate that this quest can appear when you're in the Tau Ceti system, when in orbit above Tau Ceti 3, or it can also begin in the Khayyam system, above Khayyam 2. You could bounce between these planets or reload save files to reattempt your arrival at these planets to try to prompt the quest, although this can still take some time. When you find it, you'll come across a single Eclipse starship targeting an unarmed cruiser. Take it out and board the cruiser to find 2 operatives from Ryujin Industries talking about how to deal with the talking screen in the middle of the room. This isn't a long quest, but it is a fascinating one, and it comes complete with a decent amount of backstory if you read the optional data logs around the room. You also gain an additional way to resolve the situation if you are already an employee of Ryujin Industries before you board the ship.
You're not taking that thing's side, are you?
So consider heading to Neon and completing the Back to the Grind mission in order to experience everything that this quest has to offer. Have you ever wanted to scare astronauts by dressing up as some miscellaneous space monster in the middle of a settled colony? Then this is the side quest for you. In the Sol system, on Saturn's moon of Titan, you can find the Rustic Colony of New Homestead. There's a community here that enjoys some tourism, but the local doctor finds the visitors quite stressful.
Claudio said he was playing with some of the machinery down by the mines and nearly got his arm stuck inside. It could have been ripped off.
If you offer to help, she'll give you this ridiculous tardigrade outfit to wear and encourage you to scare groups of tourists so that they leave the colony. Do the quest 3 times and she'll let you keep the outfit permanently.
See, sometimes silly ideas are worth the effort.
Now you can scare people anywhere in the settled systems. This quest is short, simple, and it rewards you with a cute new decoration that you can use in any of your outposts. In the Sol system on Mars, in the city of Cydonia, you can meet a young girl inside the entrance to the Lux condominiums. She'll ask you to put up 6 of these space frog drawings for her around Cydonia. Follow the quest markers to place each one, and return to her to receive a whopping 12 credits, plus your brand new outpost decoration.
It's not much, but I got a little something for you as a thank you.
The credits are nice, Renee, but I didn't do it for the money. I did it for Space Frog. If you want to see what life on the streets of Neon is really like, you can gain a pretty good idea of that by joining the Strikers gang. In the Volii system, on Volii Alpha, you'll find the city of Neon. From Neon Core, head to the less glamorous Ebb side. Now look for Madame Sauvage's bar, which has a big yellow sign out the front. You'll know you're close when you can hear the thumping club music and esoteric voiceover. Speak with Andrea inside, and after some initial resistance,
What are you looking at?
she'll eventually introduce you to the leader of the gang. What follows is an escalating chain of missions that have you going against the rival gang on Neon streets, the Disciples. You'll learn the Striker Maskwear apparel outfit, and you can get to know each of the Strikers a bit better as you go along.
Andrea thought Briggs wanted you dead, so he sent you away. Andrea was wrong.
There are opportunities for stealth in these missions, but if loud and violent is more your style, you'll still be able to progress just fine. These last 2 missions are in star systems that are much more dangerous and further away than any of the quests that we've discussed so far. Many of the systems that you'll pass through will have a suggested enemy level of 60+, and while we were able to get through these missions at around level 20, you'll want to make sure you come prepared with powerful weapons and plenty of ammo. You may also want to consider having numerous points in your security skill so that you can unlock master locks, and your ship will need an improved grav drive and larger fuel capacity so that you can reach the more isolated systems in these quest lines. Now, this quest technically isn't even a quest. When you fly into the Schrödinger system, you'll see a nearby cruiser drifting in front of you called the Colander. Once aboard the ship, you'll find that something's not quite right. The atmosphere is tense, the crew are all missing, and you can't even turn on your flashlight. The beauty of this mission is in the suspense, so we're reluctant to tell you much more about what you'll find here, but just know that you'll need to work your way through the ship by opening hatches and accessing server tunnels. And make sure you bring a really big gun with you when you board, just in case.
Human of unknown origin detected.
We've saved one of the best for last. Much like the Colander mission before, the joy of this quest is in the discovery, so we're going to keep spoilers to a minimum and just suggest that you make this quest a priority. If you want to experience this questline without any idea of what you'll find, here are the directions. Out in the isolated system of Charybdis, on Charybdis 3, you'll find a small settlement called the Crucible. That's all you need to get started, but to discuss this further we will need to talk a bit about the quest, so here's your chance to jump ahead in the video if you want to preserve the mystery. Once you've landed at the Crucible, you'll find an entire colony that has its own factions, ethical quandaries, and Roosevelt?
When your ship landed, I feared the robots would shoot you on sight.
The Crucible is populated with clones of some of Earth's most important historical figures. Many of these figures have formed different societies, as they call them, and they are all at odds about how to proceed with their failing colony. As none of the clones can leave, they ask you to investigate the facility, where new clones and robots mysteriously originate from. What unfolds is a tale of tragedy, as you see how and why this social experiment came to be, in what might be one of Starfield's most Fallout-reminiscent quests. As far as rewards go, you could find some decent equipment as loot along the way, but the best reward that this quest offers you is the chance to recruit one of these historical figures as a permanent member of your crew. If you felt that your expedition team was missing some of that old Earth charm, then definitely don't miss completing Operation Starseed. Those are 8 of the best side quests we found during our time with the game, and we are still on the hunt for more. If you found any cool loot or stories that we haven't, please share in the comments. Who knows, maybe there will be enough for another roundup video. For more on Starfield, you can watch our complete guide for outposts, and if you're looking for help with other missions that you might be stuck on, be sure to check in with our growing Starfield wiki as we catalogue all of Starfield's many secrets. For all other things gaming, stick with IGN.
Way-oh, get me back to my true love, as quick as an old asteroid.